So here today we will discuss about the joints. First, the study of the joint, it is known as arthrology. So what is a joint? A joint, it is simply a structure that where two or more than two bones they meet with the help of a certain binding material, that is known as a joint or articulation. So when a joint is formed between two or more than two bones, the surface or the area that comes in contact with each other, that is known as articular surface or articular area. For example, if suppose this is a joint, so this area that comes in contact with each other during the formation of joint, that is known as articular surface. So the functions, as we know, the joints that perform different functions, like they play a very important role in the locomotion. So they help in the movement of the skeleton. They play a very important role in they form the structure of the skeleton. It is because of the joint form the structure. Now, the classification of the joint. Classification of the joint. We classify the joint on the basis of nature of uniting medium and the movements permitted. So first type is that is known as synovial joint or diarthrodial joint. Second type, this is known as fibrous joint or synovial joint. Diarthrodial, they are movable joints, while as fibrous joint they are immovable joints, while as the third one is cartilaginous joints or amphiarthrodial joint. These cartilaginous or amphiarthrodial, they show restricted movement. So first we study what is a joint. It is a structure where two or more than two bones unite with the help of certain binding material. It's called as a joint or articulation, and the surface or the area that comes in contact with each other, that is known as articular surface or articular area. Then it perform different functions, like they play very important role in the locomotion. They form the whole skeletal of the animal. Now coming to the classification, the joints, they have been classified on the basis of the nature of the uniting medium and the movements permitted. There are three types of joints. We have synovial joint is there, diarthrodial joint is there, they are movable joints. Then there are fibra joints or synarthrodial, they are immovable joints. And then the cartilaginous joints, amphiarthrodial joints. These joints, they have a restricted movement. Now coming first, the synovial joint. Synovial joint or diarthrodial joint. The synovial or diarthrodial joint, that is mainly characterized by the presence of a joint cavity is there. It has a joint capsule as a synovial membrane, and then movable joints. Now coming to the structure of diarthrodial joint. The diarthrodial joint, it is composed of first articular surface, articular cartilage, third is joint capsule, ligaments, and blood vessels and nerves. So ये सारे जो these are the different components of a diarthrodial joint. क्या क्या होता है? First, articular surface होता है, articular cartilage is there, joint capsule is there, ligaments are there, blood vessels and nerves are there. So we will describe or discuss these components one by one. First is articular surface. The articular surface, it is generally composed of a dense bone, and this articular surface, it has non-articular depressions present. They are known as, उनको हम बोलते हैं synovial foci, non-articular depressions. This articular surface, it can be a condyle, in the form of a condyle, it can be in the form of a facet, it can be a trochlea, it can be a cortiloid cavity, या glenoid cavity भी हो सकती है. That is an articular surface. Second component is articular cartilage. So articular cartilage is generally कौन सी cartilage होती है? It is a hyaline cartilage. hyaline cartilage, what is the purpose of this hyaline cartilage? It reduces the friction. It reduces the friction during the movement of the joint. And this articular surface, it covers the articular ends of the bone. So we have articular surface, then this articular surface, it is covered with articular cartilage. This articular cartilage, it is thick in young animals and thin in older animals. And this articular cartilage, it is avascular, and it also lacks nerves too. So that means ना इसमें blood vessels होती हैं, ना इसमें nerves होती है articular cartilage में. So it is believed that the articular cartilage, it gets the nutrition from the vascular network of the synovial membrane. कहाँ से लेता है ये? synovial membrane से लेता है. From the synovial fluid से लेता है, and the blood vessels of underlying marrow spaces से nutrition लेता है. So first was the articular surface, that is generally composed of a dense bone, and there are some non-articular depressions present. They are known as synovial fossa. And this articular surface, it is in the form of a condyle or a facet, trochlea, it can be anything. Then फिर हमने उसके बाद डिस्कस किया है आर्टिकुलर कार्टिलेज होती है. इट्स अ हाइलिन कार्टिलेज. इट कवर्स द आर्टिकुलर एंड्स ऑफ द बोन and it reduces the friction and makes the movement easy. It is thick in case of young animals and thin in older animals. It is avascular and it also lacks nerves. Then it is believed that this synovial membrane, it gets this articular cartilage gets the nutrition from the vascular network of synovial membrane and the synovial fluid and the blood vessels of underlying marrow spaces. Now coming to the third component, that is the joint capsule. The joint capsule, it completely encapsulates the diarthrodial joint or encapsulates the diarthrodial joint. So it is a membranous sac that completely encapsulates the diarthrodial joint. This joint capsule, it is made of an outer layer, that is the fibrous layer, and an inner layer that is known as synovial membrane. This is outer layer and this is an inner layer. Now the outer layer, that is a fibrous layer, it is called as a capsular ligament. This fibrous layer, जो होती है it is made of white connective tissue fibers. They are arranged either parallel or interlacing. So they have an interlacing arrangement or they have a parallel arrangement. So the fibrous layer, it is generally made of parallel or interlacing white connective tissue fibers. This fibrous layer, it is perforated that allows the passage of blood vessels and the nerves. The fibrous layer, it has a less blood supply and an extensive nerve supply. So इसमें जो ब्लड सप्लाई होती है वो कम होती है, बट जो नर्व सप्लाई होती है वो बहुत ज़्यादा होती है. Now coming to the next layer, that is the inner layer, which is known as synovial membrane. The synovial membrane, it is an inner layer. It is an inner thin membranous layer. Inner thin and membranous layer. ठीक है, साइनोवियल मेम्ब्रेन जो होती है ये इनर लेयर होती है. इट इज इन द फॉर्म ऑफ ए थिन मेम्ब्रेनस लेयर. दिस साइनोवियल मेम्ब्रेन, इट नेवर लाइन्स द आर्टिक्यूलर एंड्स ऑफ द बोन. जो आर्टिक्यूलर एंड्स होते हैं जो कभी कवर नहीं करती है. नेवर लाइन इज द आर्टिक्यूलर एंड्स ऑफ द बोन. This synovial membrane, this synovial membrane, it secretes synovial fluid. The synovial membrane secretes synovial fluid, and the synovial membrane, it contains the cells. They are known as synoviocytes. These synoviocytes are of two types, type A and type B. Type A, that play very important role in phagocytosis, while as type B, they play very important role in the secretion of proteins. So the synovial membrane, it secretes the synovial fluid. So now what is the synovial fluid? So synovial fluid, it is secreted by synovial membrane. So this is secreted by the synovial membrane and it is present in the joint cavity. So this synovial fluid, its consistency, it is almost similar to the white of egg, and it has a yellowish tinge. And its composition is, it's made of it has albumin, mucin, salts, hyaluronic acid, etc. The hyaluronic acid, it determines its viscosity. So the synovial membrane जो होता है इसमें एल्ब्यूमिन होता है, इसमें म्यूसिन होता है, साल्ट्स होता है, हाइलुरोनिक एसिड होता है. सो व्हाट इज इट्स फंक्शन? साइनोवियल मेम्ब्रेन की फंक्शन क्या है? इट प्ले वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल इन द lubrication. That means it reduces the friction. It acts as a lubricant. Second is it play very important role in the nutrition. And third is it acts as a cushion. So, and this minimizes the pressure during the movement of the joint. The next component is the ligaments. The ligaments, these are the strong bands. Strong bands, they are inelastic and they are made of wide fibrous connective tissue. They bind the bones together and they prevent the excess movement or abnormal movement of the joint. These joints are of different types: capsular ligaments, then have collateral ligaments, then intra-articular ligaments are there, we have interosseous ligaments, they have annular ligament. So बहुत सारे ligaments होते हैं, they are present in the one capsular, it completely encloses diarthrodial, that is the fibrous layer. Then collateral ligaments are present on the sides of a joint, they are known as collateral ligaments. Interarticular ligaments that are within the joint cavity, and then the interosseous ligaments that connect to the opposing surface of the bone directly. And annular ligaments, these are in the form of rings which allow the passage and the protection of the tendons and the muscles. Then the last one, that is the blood vessels and the nerves. So the arteries that form anastomosis around the joints, which gives branches to the articular ends of the bone as well as to the articular or the extremities of the bone and the joint capsule. And there are different types of the neurofibers which like spatial nerve endings. They have spatial nerve ending like the Pacinian corpuscles are there. Pacinian corpuscles are there which respond to the pressure, and there are the end bulbs of cross, they respond to the cold. So here in this diagram you can see a diarthrodial joint. So this is the articular surface that is generally made of a bone. Then this is the articular cartilage. This is the synovial membrane. This is the outer, that is known as fibrous layer of the joint capsule, and inner is the synovial membrane, and this is the joint cavity that contains the synovial fluid. So this is the structure of a diarthrodial joint. Thank you.